continue on with Wonder by R.J. Palacio. We're going to read more. He's at his camp for a couple days with the 5th grade class. And now we're going to read the next few chapters. And this one is called The Fairgrounds. The next day was just as great as the first day. We went horseback riding in the morning, and in the afternoon we rappelled up some ginormous trees with the help of the nature guys. By the time we got back to our cabins for dinner, we were all really tired again. After dinner, they told us we had an hour to rest, and then they were going to take a 15-minute bus ride to the fairgrounds for an outdoor movie night. I hadn't had the chance to write a letter to Mom and Dad yet, and VA yet, so I wrote one telling them about all the stuff we did that day and the day before. I pictured myself reading it to them out loud when I got back, since there was no way the letter would get home before I did. When we got to the fairgrounds, the sun was still starting to set. The sun was just starting to set. It was about 7:30. The shadows were really long on the grass, and the clouds were pink and orange. It looked like someone had taken sidewalk chalk and smudged the colors across the sky with their fingers. It's not that I haven't seen nice sunsets before in the city, because I have slivers of sunsets between buildings, but I wasn't used to seeing so much sky in every direction. Out here in the fairgrounds, I could understand why ancient people used to think the world was flat and the sky was a dome that closed in on top of it. That's what it looked like from the fairgrounds in the middle of this huge open field. Because we were the first school to arrive, we got to run around the field, and we got to run around the fields all we wanted until the teachers told us it was time to lay out sleeping bags on the ground and get good viewing seats. We unzipped our bags and laid them down like picnic blankets on the grass in front of the giant movie screen in the middle of this field. Then we went to the row of food trucks parked at the edge of the field to load up on snacks and sodas and stuff like that. There were concession stands there too, like a farmer's market, selling roasted peanuts and cotton candy, and up a little farther was a short row of carnival-type stalls, the kind where you win a stuffed animal if you threw a baseball into a basket. Jack and I both tried and failed to win anything, but we heard Amos won a yellow hippo and gave it to Zemina. That was the big gossip that went around, the jock and the brainiac. From the food trucks, you could see the cornstalks in back of the movie screen. They covered about a third of the entire field. The rest of the field was completely surrounded by woods. As the sun sank lower in the sky, the tall trees at the entrance to the woods looked dark blue. By the time the other school buses pulled into the parking lots, we were back in our spots on the sleeping bags, right smack in front of the screen, the best seats in the whole field. Everyone was passing around snacks and having a great time. Me and Jack and Summer and Reed and Maya played Pictionary. We could hear the sounds of the other schools arriving, the loud laughing and the talking of kids coming out of the field on both sides. But we really couldn't see them through the sky. Through the sky was still light. The sun had gone down completely, and everything on the ground had turned deep purple. The clouds were shadows now. We had trouble seeing even the Pictionary cards in front of us. Just then, without any announcement, all the lights at the ends of the fields went on at once. They were like bright stadium lights. I thought of the scene in Close Encounters when the alien ship lands and they're playing that music, da-da-do-da-dum. Everyone in the field started applauding and cheering like something great had just happened. Be kind to nature. An announcement came over the huge speakers next to the stadium lights. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 23rd Annual Big Movie Night at the Broarwood Nature Reserve. Welcome, teachers and students from MS 342, the William Heath School. A big cheer went up on the left side of the field. Welcome, teachers and students from Clover Academy. Another cheer went up, this time from the right side of the field. And welcome, teachers and students from the Beecher Prep School. Our whole group cheered as loud as we could. We're thrilled to have you as our guests here tonight, and thrilled that the weather is cooperating. In fact, Can you believe what a beautiful night this is? Everyone again whooped and hollered. So as we prepare the movie, we do ask you take a few moments and listen to this important announcement. The Broward Nature Reserve, as you know, is dedicated to preserving our natural resources and the environment. We ask that you that you leave no litter behind. Clean up after yourselves, be kind to nature, and it will be kind to you. We ask that you keep that in mind as you walk around the grounds. Do not venture beyond the orange cones at the edges of the fairgrounds. Do not go into the cornfields or the woods. Please keep the free roaming to a minimum. Even if you don't feel like watching the movie, your fellow students may feel otherwise. So please be courteous. No talking, no playing music, no running around. The restrooms are located on either side of the concession stands. After the movie is over, it will be quite dark. So we ask that all of you stay with your schools and make your way back to your buses. Teachers, there's usually at least one lost party on big movie night at Broward. Don't let it happen to you. Tonight's movie presentation will be The Sound of Music. I immediately started clapping, even though I'd seen it a few times before, because it was Via's favorite movie of all time. But I was surprised that a whole bunch of kids, not from Beecher, booed and hissed and laughed. Someone from the right edge of the field even threw a soda can at the screen, which seemed to surprise Mr. Tushman. I saw him stand up and look in the direction of the can thrower, though I knew he couldn't see anything in the dark. The movie started playing right away. The stadium lights dimmed. Maria the nun was standing on top of the mountain, twirling around and around. It had gotten chilly all of a sudden, so I put my yellow Montauk hoodie and adjusted the volume of my hearing aids and leaned against my backpack and started watching. The hills are alive. And then one more. The woods are alive. Somewhere around the boring part where a guy named Rolf and the oldest daughter are singing, "You are 16, going on 17, Jack nudged me. "Dude, I've got to pee," he said. We both got up and kind of hopscotched over the kids who were sitting or lying down in the sleeping bags. Summer waved as we passed, and I waved back. There were lots of kids from other schools walking around by the food trucks, playing the carnival games, or just hanging out. Of course, there was a huge line for the toilets. "Forget this. I'll just find a tree," said Jack. "That's gross, Jack. Let's just wait," I answered. But he's headed off to a row of trees at the edge of the field, which was past the orange cone that we specifically were told not to go past. And of course, I followed him. And of course, we didn't have our flashlights because we forgot to bring them. It was so dark now, we literally couldn't see 10 steps ahead of us as we walked towards the wood. Luckily, the movie gave off some lights, so when we saw a flashlight coming towards us out of the woods, we knew immediately that it was Henry, Miles, and Amos. I guess they hadn't wanted to wait in line to use the toilets either. Miles and Henry were not talking to Jack, but Amos had let go of that war a while ago. He nodded hello to us as they passed by. "Be careful of the bear," shouted Henry, and he and Miles laughed as they walked away. Amos shook his head at us like, "Don't pay attention to them." Jack and I walked a little further until we were inside the woods. Then Jack hunted around for the perfect tree and finally did his business, though it felt like he was taking forever. The woods were loud with strange sounds and chirps and croaks, like a wall of noise coming out of the trees. Then we started hearing loud snaps not far from us, almost like a cap gun pops, and definitely weren't insect noises. And far away, like in another world, we could hear raindrops. "Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens." "Ah, that's much better," Jack said, zipping up. "Now I have to pee," I said, which I did on the nearest tree. No way I was going farther in like Jack did. "Do you smell that? Like firecrackers," he said, coming over to me. "Oh yeah, what's that? What? Oh yeah, what was that?" I answered, zipping up. "Weird. Let's go." We'll have to find out next time.